why I fell into it. I was an extras coordinator at the time because I loved being on set and had been an AD for a good while, and a film needed an extras coordinator, and I took up that mantle and quite quickly became known as the extras girl and did a lot of big open castings. And as a result of that, I ended up being in a lot of sort of casting situations where you were casting kids or casting small parts. I spent a lot of time with directors, showing them faces and finding out what they responded to. And I suppose it was just a bit of a natural evolution because there weren't any casting directors in Northern Ireland when I was working there. And they were all in London or LA or New York. So I was the boots on the ground, I was the legs. And it just so happened then, whenever we started casting for Game of Thrones, and I was going to be the extras coordinator on that, the producer said, why don't you help the casting directors? And that completely demystified the process for me, and I got to spend a week in a room with Robert Stern and do all the 8 seasons of local casting and learn how to do deals and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's kind of like a natural progression. It did, yeah. Like after, I spent the first series of Game of Thrones being the extras coordinator and doing the local casting. It was only when we got to the end of the first series that we realised I'd cast about 50 artists, and it was a huge cast. And Mina and Robert did all the big parts and heavy lifting, and I had a very young child, and the allure of being a car park at 3 a.m. had sort of lost its game. And I turned around to the producers of Game of Thrones and said, listen, I just want to do local casting, I don't want to do the extras anymore. And they said, that's fine, as long as you teach someone else how to do that, you can do that. And then they asked me to do some stuff on Shadow Dancer and The Fall. And yeah, I just kept falling into it. And oh God, I get to watch incredible performances every day, and every day is different, and I get to connect with people and think about what it is to be human. It's it's a real pleasure, and it's a real honour, a real gift. Whenever they do a great take, but yes, we've got them. But listen, it's priceless. All of it's priceless. Absolutely. I think you always need a bit of diplomacy. You're always going to have, committee to please. And everybody, particularly in the creative industries, tends to have a strong opinion, and sometimes it's just trying to navigate that and create a space where you can interrogate some of those strong opinions and keep everyone talking rather than shutting down. Do you know what I mean? I think diplomacy is the number one challenge sometimes. Gosh, they've all been, but like obviously Game of Thrones is a massive. That's nearly a decade of my life, and it was just incredible to be involved in that on my doorstep in Belfast. Hollywood had come to town, and I was part of it. And The Fall being so successful, Dairy Girls being so successful. And obviously now Kneecap as well. Like, I just feel like, I'm incredibly blessed. like, it's a very, it's a small industry, but we now have a good sort of 2 or 3 decades of really high-end work under our belts, but we're still straddling a crossroads, where we are a local crew to facilitate bigger productions coming from London or England or America, or elsewhere in the world, and trying to build our Indigenous voice and our open stories, and giving the people that have worked so hard over the last while, and all the new people coming in as well, the opportunities to be, heads of department in their own right, and hold their own with those counterparts, and that's always going to be the rub, and we're maybe 10 or maybe a bit more behind the industry in Dublin that kind of got a bit of a head start on us, but I think we're making up for it. I think we're doing okay. God, I use it all the time, I sort of, whenever I'm thinking about any character, I sort of go through different stages where, depending on where the actors have to be from, if they're going to be UK and Ireland, I'll do a spotlight search and I'll make a short list. And then I might, shortlist that down again and, tweak it and come back to it the following day and still see if I agree with my thoughts that day, if they've stuck. And so you tend to make lists, and I'm about pen and paper as well, and pen and paper sort of helps me whittle it down. But I love a spotlight search. I love a filter tool. I love the ameliorative accents, Belfast, Derry. I love the headshots. I just love looking at people's headshots. I'm a real stalker. I guess experience, you're looking to see if they've been on a professional set before, and that's where, those programs like Doctors or Children's TV or Hope Street that we do in Northern Ireland are really invaluable, because you can see that a new actor, even if they're fresh out of drama school, has been on the set, has done a professional job, knows what to expect. So a bit of experience is always good. I think you can tell how truthful people are being by their skills and their accents and stuff, if there's too much or too little. And show reels, even if it's 30 seconds, I just really like to see how people move and breathe, and not necessarily say anything, but you just want to see a bit of them being something. Doesn't matter what it is, or how long it is, or how flashy it is, but it's nice to get a taste of material. I suppose on Spotlight, I love the notes section that you get whenever you put out a brief, and suggestions that either the agents make or the artists can make themselves as to just why they resonate, why they think they are whatever it is we're asking for, whether that's a skill or look or whatever. And that really helps and kind of stand out if someone's taken time to do that. And I think in terms of when people email you, I think you have to use those tokens sparingly. And when you do it, if you've something really important to tell us, like you've just done no running short, or you're doing a really big part in some programme on TV, do you know what I mean? And get our attention when you need to. No, everyone. Or you've finally got a really good show there that you're proud of, and you want someone to watch it. I think you can tell the people who are trying to second guess all the skills that somebody might want somewhere, but we know that people can finesse a lot of those rules, and if they get or those skills, like if it's horse riding or singing or whatever, we know we can bring in experts to help them with that and stuff. And so really be true about what you are really good at, and let that stand out. So yeah, don't second guess, just be you. Do the work, learn lines, just do your work. And if you do the work, the rest will follow if it's for you. And yeah, put all your energy into work. And just relax too. Not everything's meant for you, and just every audition you go to, just do your best and leave those seeds planted wherever you go. Down blue. It was just a phone call from the producer and the director. I think we were quite quickly on Zoom, really. And they sent me a script. It was one of the best written scripts and funniest scripts I'd ever read. And so I knew Rich was a really brilliant writer. And I'd never heard of Kneecap before, actually, because, I'm old. And as soon as I looked them up and went down that black hole on the internet, I just couldn't get enough of them. They had the same effect on me that they have on everyone else. And I was like, yeah, there is something really special here. And then when I did talk to Rich after that, I could feel that he has as much passion and as much energy as he's going to need to make that film. And yeah, I couldn't wait. I was delighted to be working on it. Well, we knew that they were going to play themselves no matter what, and whatever was going to happen with that, Rich was going to work with. But in the same way as I feel about comedians, I feel the same about a lot of musicians. I feel they know how to perform. They put on a persona all the time, and they know how to walk through the curtains. So I didn't have any doubts about that. And I knew JJ had been a teacher again. They get up and perform every day in front of the class. I mean, Wisha was a really accomplished playwright and had a really good sort of dramaturgy background. So I didn't have too many concerns about them, to be honest. I could see from the energy they had on their music videos that they would bring something, and something worth watching. And we obviously supported them in that with an acting coach for 6 months before that really helped them hone their skills. And so really it was just about finding performers that I knew loved a bit of madness, a bit of improv, and were open to working with non-actors, like not knowing what's going to happen. And obviously we had the other magic element of leading some people who spoke really beautiful Irish. So yeah, we took the sort of scene partners of the women they were either in relationships with, or the parents, and really dealt with them first. And then the rest was just a very normal passing process of smaller parts, but we had a lot of fun doing it. And we kind of knew quite quickly with most of them who kind of passed opposite, it was great. I have to sort of, warn Rich that he had to be careful about that he could show them the odd thing, but not that they felt that they'd have onus on it. But we did want their input, we did want them to be comfortable, we did want them to feel a connection and a chemistry with these people, and comfortable, obviously. And the thing that they really wanted input on was the Irish, because he knows that they're so passionate about it, and it had to be beautiful. and so that was how they were judging on performances, and we had to meet at that sometimes, but luckily who we found did speak painful Irish, so it was good. A bit nuts already. It was a bit of a surprise. It was such an award starting, and that the English seemed to love it more than us. But there's the irony. But no, it was brilliant. It was absolutely amazing, and you know, it felt very special because it was a project I'd done on my own. It was a subject I was really passionate about, and yeah, to win first IFTA for casting was, without a doubt, the best. I loved it, actually. You know, I think I get excited every year when all the graduates coins, just like, oh, it's new weeks. But no, it was really reassuring, actually. It was a really solid bunch, and some beautiful pieces picked. And, you know, you could kind of imagine any of them in lots of different things that we work on. You're just like, yeah, they're, you know, I think that's the thing I love to say is like, yeah, they're going to work. You know, they're going to work somewhere. They're going to work. We're going to award this them for something. That's brilliant. Kneecap too. No, I think it's a bit like a Nintendo game, isn't it? Like once you do a layer, you want to peek at the next layer, and you know, stretch yourself. So I think, like, we've just done the new Reese McGee for Netflix UK. Like, I would love to do a big, like, you know, Netflix or a big HBO someday, if, you know, when I think I'm grown up enough. You know, you just want to stretch your wings, you know, be given more responsibility, more money, more blue sky thinking, and yeah, just get to look at everyone in the world, not just Irish actors, yeah. Well, I think, you know, I studied at Westminster University and did film and TV here, and I think I just really wanted to understand the human condition through storytelling. Yeah, what it is to be human. Yeah, the truth of human existence, I think, and I think that's what I look for in a lot of stuff I watch. So I think the more projects I get to explore that in, and you could get to explore it in all of them, and every single character you look for, the better.